So hyperbaric medicine.
Hi everybody.
So the fact about hyperbaric medicine is it's a modality where the whole body has to get slightly changed. Right? Some of you guys may be familiar with the fact we talked about limb changes, where they put the arm or put the leg inside the chamber, and they said that's hyperbaric. It's not. Medicare says hyperbaric has to have the whole body inside the chamber. So let's talk about it. Hyperbaric is simple physics, it's simple physiology. The simple physics is we can increase atmospheres inside the hyperbaric chamber. The simple physiology is we can dissolve oxygen into the blood. More oxygen than you normally can get on the surface. Typically, you get 21% of oxygen out of the atmosphere, we're fine. As long as we don't have a deficit of oxygen. Once we have a deficit of oxygen, our body's going to create that oxygen. What we find with a lot of different modalities, a lot of different diagnoses that we deal with, there's a lack of oxygen present. What we're able to do is increase the amount of oxygen into that area. Once we do that, the body does its normal healing process. I've been in this business for a long time, as I mentioned. I hear a lot of people talk about the fact that we expedite the healing process. We speed it up. We don't. The body is a very incredible machine. If we just supply the oxygen, the body's going to do its normal healing process. It's only because there's a deficit that we even work. When there's a deficit of oxygen, we provide more there for the body. So, at the surface, where we're sitting right now, one atmosphere, there's 760 millimeters of mercury of gas available, correct? As you guys know, your respiratory. So 21% is oxygen, 79% is nitrogen. What we do inside the hyperbaric chamber is we can increase atmospheres. So we can increase an atmosphere. Every time you increase an atmosphere, there's an additional 760 millimeters of mercury of gas available. And the fact that we're breathing 100% oxygen, no nitrogen, that means there's an additional 760 millimeters of mercury of oxygen available. So we can get up to 3 atmospheres inside the chamber. And as you can see, 280 millimeters of mercury of oxygen is available to the body. That's what's available to the body. That's it. We're going to talk about Henry's Law, Boyle's Law, and Charles' Law, and Galen-Slack Law. There's 4 major mechanisms of action for hyperbarics. Hyperoxygenation, vasoconstriction, microbiological effect, and the bubble reduction. These 4 major components are the only things that we use to heal people in the hyperbaric environment. And I'll talk about the different diagnoses and which category they fall into also. Let's talk about Henry's Law. As you guys know, the partial pressure of gas diffuses into a liquid is equal to the amount of pressure above the liquid. So when I talked about putting the patient inside the hyperbaric chamber, let's take this for instance. If you're sitting on the surface, you're breathing 100% oxygen from a mask. Once your hemoglobin is saturated, what happens? No more uptake, right? Once it's saturated, there's no more uptake. No matter how long you're going to breathe on that mask, you're not going to get more oxygen to your blood system. In the hyperbaric environment, when we increase the atmosphere, when that 760 goes to 1520, which goes to 2280 amounts of pressure that's oxygen in the chamber. Henry's Law said the amount of gas above the liquid dissolves into the liquid. So what we've created an environment where we're dissolving oxygen into the blood system. Not only is the hemoglobin saturated, the plasma is saturated. So there's far more oxygen carrying capacity for the blood throughout the body. Now, a lot of people say, well, it made me do this, it made me do that. It's not going to make you do anything. It's only going to work in the areas where there's a deficit of oxygen. 21% is all we need. But where there's a deficit in the hyperbaric environment, we can bring more oxygen to that area for the body to do its normal healing process. And that's where Henry's laws come into place in the hyperbaric environment, is dissolving oxygen into the hemoglobin and into the plasma of the body. Simple physics. So hyperoxygenation, first method. Extends oxygen diffusion, improves function of osteoclast, bone healing, bone growth, and demarcation from improbable tissue, from non-viable tissue. When I was at Pureaway years ago, we used to always go to the OR with one of the surgeons because he had a lot of tons of cases of necrotizing fasciitis. I mean, tons. I think all the neck fast cases came to Pureaway. We should go to our OR, which position, and we would let us look at the demarcation. A patient would typically come into the ER that night. He would go into surgery, come back to the hyperbaric spots. We put him in the hyperbaric chamber, treat him, and go back to surgery. And you can see the difference. You can see the difference in the tissue. There's clear demarcation. There's dead tissue. There's real red tissue from high oxygenation. And you can clearly see that the tissue go into the demarcation. This exercise, all that dead tissue out there. Body tissue. We should go and watch that all the time because of the fact that when we talk about it, we never got to see how that actually takes us into the OR. Let me see the definition of what we're talking about, demarcation. So hyperoxygenation is possible through gradient, drives oxygen through barriers, and reduction in tissue blood flow. And we're going to talk about this as we talk about the different diagnoses that we're treating for. You'll see how this hyperoxygenation works. Oxygen available to these areas where there's a deficit of oxygen. And again, it does not speed up healing, create a normal, natural healing process. So vasoconstriction is a byproduct of inside the hyperbaric chamber. Cerebral edema, 30% reduction in cerebral blood flow. Why would we do something like this? We know any type of swelling is a barrier to healing, correct? Any type of swelling is a barrier to healing. Inside the hyperbaric chamber, you get vasoconstriction just from being inside there, 100% oxygen. It's a benefit. Not only cerebral flow, it's a benefit in any type of flaps and grafts. You get tons of those. A lot of times the flaps and grafts have problems, issues. They don't have a lot of feed inside the chamber. You create that confusion for those flaps and grafts. We save them. Now, hyperbaric is not going to save any tissue that's already dead. Not bring anything back to life. But we can make the tissue viable, keep the tissue alive during that critical time when we're trying to heal. We do a lot of burns. We don't do a lot of burns here at UAB, but we do a lot of burns in the industry when it comes to healing patients inside the hyperbaric chamber. Burn treatments are great actors to put patients inside the chamber for burn cases. We see a lot of healing rates increase in patients when they're inside the hyperbaric chamber for burns. One of the most critical things about this patient is the fact that we're just not located close enough to the ICU. Normally when you treat patients in burns and hyperbarics, they're really located close to the ICU, like the next patient, when they get the patient back and forth to help so critical. Crush injuries, we treat a lot of crush injuries. Same method. What are we doing? Restricting the blood flow. If I restrict the blood flow, you may think, well, if you restrict the blood flow, that's going to harm the tissue. Not really. We have so much oxygen available during this time frame. Even restricting the blood flow, you still have two components that work for you. You're cutting back on swelling and edema, and you're perfusing with 100% oxygen. Hyperoxygenation for one, vasoconstriction for two. So the microbiological effect. So the microbiological effect, hyperbaric oxygen under hyperbaric conditions is bacterial static, bacterial silent. The anaerobic organisms, ectopic fasciitis, gas gangrene. So, round-tree spider bites. Anytime you have a venom that's traveling through like that, it just kind of eats away like pac-man. It eats around the edges and keeps spreading, keeps spreading, keeps spreading. Now again, we can't provide any dead tissue, but we can create an environment around that area, highly oxygenated tissue around that area. And anaerobic organisms cannot survive in that area. And again, you're taking people back with OR also. So it's very effective when it comes to neck fast and gas gangrene. Very effective. Here's the key point about this. It's lethal for most of the anaerobic organisms, but it does not harm host tissue. It's not going to harm too much oxygen, it's not going to harm the host tissue. Now, too much oxygen itself can be an issue for patients. We'll talk about that. Boyle's Law. So, any scuba divers in the house? We got a house full of people that never been scuba diving. We got to talk. So, with Boyle's Law, We talk about the fact that at what atmosphere, let's take this for instance, let's just take a scenario. If I have a balloon, right, a floating balloon on the surface, I put it inside the hyperbaric, close the door, I start increasing the pressure of the chamber. What's going to happen? It's going to shrink, correct? It's going to get smaller and smaller, depending on how deep I go. Right? So when you get decompression sickness, what is happening? Oh, I forgot. So scoop down. So when you get decompression sickness, it's because you're taking on so much nitrogen while you dive, and you come back up to the surface, right? You come up to the surface, you come up too fast, the nitrogen bubbles start throwing out solution, and go out the portion actually gets pretty large. Why is this happening? Because our bodies live at 600 millimeters of mercury of nitrogen, right? 21% of oxygen, 600 millimeters of mercury of nitrogen. So if you go down to depth in the ocean, and you're taking on more nitrogen, your body wants to get back to normal as you come back up. So this gas bubble starts coming out of solution, and they start getting bigger. Inverse. You increase pressure, you decrease the size of the gas bubble. You decrease pressure, you increase the size of the gas bubble. So those gas bubbles get into your system, they get into your bloodstream, they get into your joints, they get into your brain. You can have some serious issues from scuba diving if you come up too fast and you don't dive the plane like you're supposed to dive the plane. But we have a benefit. In the hyperbaric chamber, what can we do? Increase pressure. Boyle's law. Those same gas bubbles that are causing problems with that scuba diving, we can put them inside the hyperbaric chamber, we can decrease the size of those gas bubbles. Pretty quick. Simple physics, simple physiology. So with the bubble reduction, not only is scuba diving accident, allergenic incidents in surgery, if gas is introduced, we can do the exact same thing. A very simple process. Put it inside the hyperbaric chamber. What's a typical treatment for hyperbarics? How does it work? I put you inside the chamber, I close the doors, I increase. Okay, as I increase the pressure with 100% oxygen, I'm increasing the pressure with 100% oxygen. You breathe it in. Your wounds don't have to be exposed like some people ask, but your wounds have to be exposed to get the oxygen? No. You breathe it in. You breathe it into your system. As I talked about, we dissolve oxygen into your blood system, and it gets out throughout your whole body. And your body's going to use it where it needs it most. People talk about the fact that they go in the hyperbaric chamber and make them jump. And wrong answer. It's not going to happen. People talked about the fact years ago, I date myself. Years ago, Michael Jackson was in a hyperbaric chamber. He was going to sleep in a hyperbaric chamber until he was 150 years old. That was not the case. He burned his head in a Pepsi commercial. His hair caught on fire, his scalp caught on fire. They put him in the hyperbaric chamber to treat him for that. The media got sight of the fact that he's in a hyperbaric chamber. Hey, it's something we can run with. He wants to live to be 150 years old, but that wasn't the case. He was in there for a treatment because he had burned his head. So we can benefit scuba divers, who have accidents and accidents that happen in surgery where there's air is introduced into the body. We can definitely have a lot of benefits with that. We do great work with stuff like that. A lot of times in facilities, they don't have hyperbarics that can't use it, but if you do have it, it's something that you can't use. Let's take a quick look at what it looks like when I talk about the gas bubbles on the surface. Basically, at 1 atmosphere, 1 ATA, when you're on the surface, that's the size of the gas bubble. As I showed, when you go down to 2 atmospheres and 3 atmospheres, that gas bubble size is going to decrease. Now, we're not talking about huge bubbles like that in your body. We're not talking about, but we're talking about large enough bubbles that they can get into your joints and cause pain and pain. We're talking about bubbles that can get into your brain and reduce blood flow. I think that's it. But again, we put you inside the hyperbaric chamber, and you're not waiting for this to happen. You're not waiting for this to happen. You increase the chamber pressure, it's simple physics. It's going to happen. Increase the size of the gas bubble. There's no way back in action. Okay, so it's simple physics, simple physiology, and it works well. In most hyperbaric chambers today, in a hospital setting, there are chambers that are called monoplace chambers. I've been charged here. There are chambers that are called monoplace chambers, and they're filled with 100% oxygen, okay? Those chambers can only go to 3 atmospheres, absolutely. oxygen will become toxic if you get too much, correct? So we can't give patients oxygen. We don't give patients oxygen in a chamber after they pass through 66 feet. There are chambers that are out there that are called multiplex chambers, where multiple people can go in at one time, but they fill those chambers with air, not oxygen. Okay, so you have tenders that go inside also, they're breathing air, patient is breathing air, they put the patient on oxygen once they get down. They can't put the patient on oxygen, but they're trying to decrease the size of the gas pump. This is a significant thing that we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to do when we're working with trying to reduce the size of the gas pump in a multiplex chamber. We're not treating people in a multiplex chamber for diagnoses such as non-admitted blues. It's only for bubble reduction that you would do with a severe scuba diving case. Okay? And that's what you see along the coastline. They have a lot of multiplex chambers and they treat patients. You don't do a lot of diving, they treat those guys in those types of chambers. So let's talk about the secondary mechanisms of action for hyperbarics. Fibroblast proliferation, development of collagen matrix, support capillary budding, neovascularization, and osteogenesis. Now, this is how this stuff works. When I talked about gas gangrene, necrotizing fasciitis, we're only talking about 2 or 3 treatments with those patients. Because what's happening is, as I mentioned, you go to surgery, you get inside the chamber, you go back to surgery, you get inside the chamber, you go back to surgery. 3 to 5 treatments, 3 to 5 treatments in that week time. We've done our work for that's concerned. With the neovascularization, diagnoses such as radiation tissue damage. What happens when you get radiated? It damages good tissue and bad tissue, right? So a lot of times, depending on how much radiation you've had, it's very difficult for that tissue to heal itself. What I talked about is, from the beginning, 100% oxygen is only going to help you when you need it, when there's a deficit. So we find that deficit there. So that's where the neovascularization comes in. That's where the fibroblast comes in. That's where the osteogenesis comes in. And the fact of the matter is, those treatments take 30, 40, 50 treatments, not 3 to 5. It takes about 21 treatments before these secondary mechanisms start to kick in. But we do treat those patients up to 60 treatments at a time. Patients get up to 60 treatments in a hyperbaric environment. Some of the non-healing diabetic patients, we treat 30, 40, 50 treatments. But most of the treatments that we have for patients, emergency treatments, they're only like 1 or 2. Scuba diver, you may get 1 treatment. You may get 2, depending on the severity. But for the diagnosis that I'll go through and I'll tell you guys how many treatments we treat each of those 4. But the secondary mechanisms, they don't happen overnight. It takes a multiple amount of treatments to get that secondary piece to kick in, but we're very effective with that also. So I'm going to talk about the indications. Carbon monoxide poisoning. What happens with carbon monoxide poisoning? Carbon monoxide bonds with the hemoglobin, correct? Pushes the oxygen out. What are we doing in the hyperbaric environment? Increasing oxygen into the blood system, pushing the CO out. Basically, that's what's happening with that. We're flooding the system with oxygen once they have a carbon monoxide poisoning. Those cases come in late at night. We treat those quite often in the wintertime. We have family members that do a lot of cooking in their houses with coal, believe it or not, charcoal and things of that nature. And they live in 2 or 3 nights at a time. And they get overcome as a family. We treated multiple families from doing things like that. Multiple families. But we've had good success with those people too, putting this life to change. Cerebral arterial gas embolism, decompression sickness, I talked about from scuba diving. But also, did you know that pilots can get decompression sickness? You know, pilots are in training. There's an air base in Columbus, Mississippi. They have all the young recruits that do pilot training. What they do is called sorties. They go up and down. They go up and down. Increase in atmosphere, decrease in atmospheres. They can get decompression sickness also. We treat those guys from the air base. Necrotizing soft tissue, exceptional blood loss anemia. Now, a lot of times we treat patients, this has been happening in the past, we haven't had any in the past few years, but Jehovah's Witnesses that don't take blood. We put them inside the hyperbaric chamber. when they have blood loss anemia. Far more oxygen in your body than you normally would use when you go inside the hyperbaric chamber. It's a simple piece. Simple physiology is you're going to dissolve that oxygen into the blood. It's going to happen. You put it inside the chamber, it's going to happen. We've been able to sustain those patients through some surgeries and things of that nature. So we've had success in that in the past. Necrotitis is soft tissue infection. Again, I talked about going back and forth to the OR with these patients. Put them inside the hyperbaric chamber. The anaerobic activity that's taking place, we got the oxygen there that's limited the effect of that. Can't reverse anything. It's definitely a limited effect. When I talk about these, with carbon monoxide, once we make the one treatment, basically, treat them maybe one time, 2 times if necessary. Cerebral arterial embolisms, maybe one treatment. It can be that simple. Decompression sickness can be anywhere from 1 to 5 treatments. Exceptional blood loss anemia, it just depends on the case, how long you're dealing with the patient. Typically, it's like 5 to 7 treatments. Necrotitis, soft tissue infection, 3 to 5 treatments in the hyperbaric environment. Gas gangrene, same thing. We're dissolving so much oxygen in the system that wherever that surrounding area is, where you have the infection, the anaerobic organism just cannot survive where all that oxygen. We're going to do it, dissolving oxygen into that area. With the surgical procedures that are taking place, we can eliminate the effect of that gas gangrene in the person's body. Justify delivering oxygen to the area. 3 to 5 treatments for those. Crush injuries. We get a lot of crush injuries at UAB from trauma, accidents, and things of that nature. But those patients in change. These are things that we're doing. Cutting back on swelling of the knee, which are barriers we're doing. Increasing the amount of oxygen that's in the area at the same time. Talk about the fact that it decreases blood flow, but the blood flow that's there is highly oxygenated, far more oxygen than would normally be. We have really good effects with that, particularly when it comes to decreasing the amount of swelling in the human that's taking place. Reattachment is suturing of limbs, treating the UAB with in the past programs that I work with. And I remember back in early 90s, we treated a 2-day-old baby from UAB from Children's Hospital. The baby that had an umbilical cord wrapped around their arm in the room. When they brought the baby out, the lower part of the arm, below the elbow, was pretty much gone. Just totally necrotic. Cut off all the blood flow to it. They brought the baby to Caraway at the time, and we treated that baby. And the only reason we treated the baby is because one of the ICU nurses at Children's was a flex nurse. And that's the only way they sent the pediatric baby over. Send the baby over, so they had a pediatric nurse that would go inside the chamber. So we did save the baby from harm. The 2-day-old baby is the youngest patient I've ever treated, and the 98-year-old person is the oldest person. Acute peripheral ischemia, what are we doing? Diffusing oxygen out to those areas. I'll talk about a couple of things that we'll show you that we're working on right now, where this peripheral ischemia is a problem, and what we're doing for that. Thermal burns, I'll talk about that. But again, these patients do a whole lot of transport. Most of the facilities around the country where they use hyperbarics for burns are really located in a close proximity. Brown fruit spider bite. What happens with that? What happens with brown fruit spider bite? They bite, and then it goes in, and again, it just starts eating around in their area. Eats around and around and around and around and around. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and deeper and deeper all the time. Again, in the hyperbaric environment, what we're doing is we inside the chamber, we increase the atmosphere. We dissolve oxygen into the system all throughout the body, not a certain spot. So what we're able to do is surround that area where the anaerobic activity is taking place. It cannot spread it. Non-healing people. We have a lot of diabetics in this area. We treat a lot of non-healing wounds. We treat a lot of non-healing diabetics. These cases, again, I talked about these 20, 30, 40 treatments for these patients. In fact, there's a deficit of oxygen there. There's a deficit of oxygen. Now, if there's no blood flow, so we work very closely with vascular groups, the vascular departments. When we're dealing with our patients, we refer back and forth to each other. Vascular refers to us, we refer to vascular. But you gotta have the plumbing there at the vascular hospital. You gotta have the plumbing for hyperbaric oxygen to be a benefit to anybody. Enhancement of healing and selective follow moves. We get a lot of non-healing surgical moves. If not, those surgical rooms that we can get to treat those inside the chamber. And again, we're doing a simple process. Integrating a lot more oxygen into the area, but advised to do this normal healing process. Because whenever there's a deficit, it doesn't heal them. Compromised skin vascular collapse is something that we work with all the time, particularly when it's talking about respiratory destruction in the irradiated. There's a protocol that we use that's called the March protocol. It's like you get 20 treatments prior to surgery. You pretty much kind of prepare the area before the surgery, and then after the surgery, you're following up with it also. Radiation necrosis, soft tissue, and bone. We get a lot of mandibles from radiation damage. A lot of damage to mandibles that we get from soft tissues, from esophageal cancer, and things of that nature. We treat a lot of patients with that. Again, multiple treatments with those. That's where secondary indications kick in when we're treating those types of cases from our radiation tissue damage. Refractory osteomyelitis, that is also a big factor in what we use along with non-human diabetic feet. It's osteomyelitis. And again, you got osteoplastic activity that takes place in secondary phases, creating bone tissue. We work very hard with IV docs, with IV antibiotics. It's a great synergy when you use IV antibiotics and hyperbaric together with healing. And I mentioned the success, and I mentioned the different types of diagnosis because of hyperbaric. You may not know it in the past, but hopefully you would know at this point that people can seek this out as a second opinion about something that we're trying to use. A lot of doctors still don't use hyperbaric. A lot of doctors still don't even know about hyperbaric. But again, the more people that know about it, the more people that can benefit from it. So the benefits. We're dissolving oxygen into the O2, into the blood plasma. We increase O2 concentration in the hypoxic areas. Those are the areas that have the deficit. Where there's a deficit, we can increase that amount of oxygen there. Again, allowing the body to do its normal healing process. We can reduce edema by vasoconstriction, a phenomenon that takes place whenever you go inside the chamber and you receive 100% oxygen. Vasoconstriction takes place. We promote white blood cell bactericidal activity, vitamins, necrotides, fasciitis, and gas gangrene, anaerobic organisms. So what are the side effects of going inside the hyperbaric chamber? I have two sides. So if you ever go to the bottom of the pool, or go to the mountains, you feel the pressure on your ears. So if you feel the pressure on your ears, you can get barrel trauma inside the chamber. If you don't clear your ears, and it's pretty painful. It hurts pretty badly. A lot of patients that we've treated in the past, critical care patients, emergency cases, we give myriadotomy on them. So they just puncture the membrane so that the airflow can pass through, so they don't have any cause to rupture the membrane itself. But most patients, if you do simple techniques, it's called a Valsalva maneuver, you get your nose and book off ears, like we do together in the pool, like we do when you go to the mountains or something like that. Just do a simple Valsalva. Most patients that go inside the chamber, we don't treat if they have sinus problems. Because we know it can cause that congestion can cause problems with the ears. So if they have congestion and have sinus problems, we don't treat them in the chamber at that time. We wait until they're finished with that. So it's pretty simple. The environment, we pump air inside the chamber. It gets a little bit warm because of what? We're compressing. It gets a little bit warm as we compress. It only takes about 10 minutes to get down the pressure. And we take 10 minutes, we can go faster. We take 10 minutes to get the patient time to clear the ears. That's all we do. If I had a scuba diver, and I was trying to get him in the chamber, particularly about 165 people in a multiplex chamber, I would take him down like that. He's pinching him lower, and I'm running the chamber down as quickly as possible because I'm trying to decrease the size of that gas ball as quickly as I possibly can. But in a routine treatment that we're treating patients most of the time, it takes about 10 minutes to get them down to pressure. And our typical treatment is about 45 liters of seawater for 90 minutes. And that's just like a prescription. It's like taking 30 milligrams or something, or taking 3 tablets or something. 45 to 90 minutes prescription. Oxygen in the hyperbaric environment is considered a drug. So we have to have protocols of how we deliver the oxygen inside the chamber, how long we deliver oxygen inside the chamber, and when. We've got patients upstairs in ICU on a ventilator. They come down to the hyperbaric environment. You have to consider them. If they don't oxygen for a long time upstairs, but inside the hyperbaric, you can have problems with brain wall seizures in hyperbaric environment. have problems with it. Getting too much oxygen. Like oxygen is like any other drug. Too little, non-therapeutic. Too much, you have problems. So we have to be very careful about how much oxygen we do deliver to different patients when it comes to the hyperbaric environment. Visual changes. They say 1 to 10,000 patients that go inside the hyperbaric chamber has problems with their vision. Too much oxygen. Too much oxygen is central retinal area. Now, I've seen people that have problems with that, and they say they have a problem with the eyes. Probably we tell them, 6 weeks after you finish, your eyes should go back to normal. Don't buy glasses. We just tell them all the time. Don't buy glasses. Don't go get new glasses. Things like that, because your eyes are going to revert back. And I would say probably 90% of the time, the eyes did revert. We've had a couple places that I can recall over the years that still have been a problem with the eyes from going inside the hyperbaric chamber. But it's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. There's too much oxygen to cause a problem in that. So pulmonary toxicity, typically that's again when you're dealing with patients that's on the ventilator all day, upstairs, extra oxygen upstairs, when we put them inside a hyperbaric environment. We have to be very careful with our protocols. So many different protocols in the rest of the patient that we're treating. We have to manage their care for them inside that chamber, how much oxygen we deliver. Again, if you're delivering a drug, you have to deliver it at the right cost, at the right time, and the right dose every time. Charles' law. The volume of containing increase, the temperature will increase. If the volume of containing decrease, the temperature will decrease. The reason I talk about this is when I put you inside the hyperbaric chamber, it's going to get hot. It's going to get hot from the pressure rising going down the chamber. But on the way back up, what's going to happen? It's going to get cool. It's going to get cool. You don't notice that as dramatically in a monoplace chamber when you're only diving down to 3 atmospheres. If I put you in a multiplace chamber and I take you down to 165 feet, it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. How hot you're going to get going down is as soon as you get to the bottom, it's going to start getting cold. This is a typical setup for a hyperbaric apartment. We have 3 monoplace chambers. You slide in, you close the doors, you turn on the switch, and you start increasing the amount of oxygen in the chamber until you get this patient down to the depth that you're going to treat the patient. That's typically 2.4 atmospheres. Right? 2.4 atmospheres for 90 minutes. That's how typical we'll be able to treat it. You can have multiple chambers in your facility. We're set up for 4. We only have 2 currently, but we're set up for 4 chambers. You can't do critical care inside the chambers. You have to have ventilators. You have to have pumps. There are pumps that are designed to pump against pressure for the hyperbaric environment, so you can't treat and infuse patients with inside the chamber. You have to have that monitoring equipment that you connect. You have leads on the inside that are connected through a penetrator, and you connect it to the patient on the inside of the chamber too, so you can do critical care in the environment itself. So, talk about oxygen. Talk about the oxygen used into this tissue. Take a quick look at how this kind of works inside the hyperbaric chamber. So I put you inside the hyperbaric chamber. Start in the hyperbaric chamber, right? I put you inside the hyperbaric chamber. As soon as I start pressurizing you down to whatever depth we're going to take you, the increase in oxygen is going to be very quick. If I take you down to 2.4 atmospheres, as we go down, that solid oxygen is going to go up pretty quick into the system. It's going to happen pretty quickly. But if I start bringing you out of the chamber, it's going to be coming back down to normal. That's the end of the chamber treatment. Start the chamber treatment, as I go down, start to increase, as I take you out of the chamber, start to decrease. End of the treatment right here. The benefit is, and that was in the blood cell. Okay? The benefit is, look at the muscle. Those intervals are slower. Yeah. And down is slower. It's a subcutaneous tissue. Those intervals are even slower. And down is slower. If you look at this, you're still benefiting from subcutaneous and muscle, even after you change. Once you even out of the change, you still benefit from getting this out of the change. You still get that, you still have that involved in the oxygen in the system. It will take about a couple hours before you get back. That's one of the reasons that we do multiple treatments. That's one of the other reasons that we have a couple hours between treatments is because of oxygen toxicity. We don't want to give too much oxygen at one time. We don't want to deliver too much medicine at one time. Okay? physics and simple physiology. We're not doing anything ourselves. Just by simply putting people inside the chamber, increasing the amount of pressure inside the chamber, you increase the amount of dissolved oxygen in the blood system. This piece here, this slide here shows how you still benefit from being inside the chamber even once you come out of the chamber. You still have high levels of oxygen content in the subcutaneous. Some of the research that we're working on right now, closed head injuries, traumatic brain injuries, cerebral palsy, stroke, near drowning, myocardial infarctions. We at UAB were actually scheduled to start a traumatic brain injury study back in, but it didn't pan out. We didn't get the staffing that we needed to support the program. We're pretty disappointed about it, but I think we may have another chance in the future. But traumatic brain injuries, the Department of Defense has been working on this for probably about the last 10 years, and now there's some out there, independent companies around the country that are actually working on traumatic brain injuries also. There are programs out in Oklahoma where they work with the veterans groups. A lot of veterans are getting treated in hyperbaric for traumatic brain injuries. So it's going to be, we're going to get more and more data as the years go by. These different groups working with the traumatic brain injury patients. And as soon as that happens, we see there's going to be a connection with both too. There's going to be a connection with traumatic brain injuries and with stroke patients also. Now, for the record, patients have been treated in hyperbaric chambers for stroke for the past 35 years. They've been treating patients for stroke, but it's not a diagnosis that has approval from the FDA. It's not a diagnosis that has approval from most of the medical society. But a lot of people have used hyperbaric. You see a lot of freestanding clinics, not hospital-associated clinics. A lot of freestanding clinics use hyperbaric for stroke. So, both deals. What I found, again, and I talked about this when I first started out, the more people that I can have a conversation with about hyperbarics, the more people that can benefit from it. You may know somebody that can benefit from it locally, or you may know somebody in your family that can benefit from it. So one of the things I try to do is just make sure it's plain, keep it simple, something that you can share the same conversation I just had with you about how hyperbaric works, and how it can benefit people that are out there. Okay? So, I'm going to be brief with this. This is a little bit of history with this, okay? So, hyperbaric environment has been around since 1886. 1686. This is a chamber that was by a guy by the name of Henshaw in England. And it's what he called a domicilium. They use these giant bellows and they pump air into this room, basically. And it's increasing the amount of air. So the concept of hyperbaric air was oxygen was even discovered at that time. They hadn't even discovered oxygen at that time. But they thought about the idea of increased air to benefit the body. And this was a physician, clergyman, those guys back then, they were everything at that time. But this, he called it the domicilium. And his theory was the fact that if you increase the amount of air in it, people could heal, people from having colds and things of that nature. So it's pretty interesting history about that. This is Dr. Cunningham in like 1835. He got a chamber in Cincinnati. He used chambers, a multi-place chamber where multiple people were inside the chamber at one time. This was something that was going on back in the 1800s. This was more up to date. This was back in the 1930s. And this was a guy by the name of Timken. He was a ball bearing local. And he had a chamber, basically he called it a hospital. There were different floors on it. It was pressurized, filled with oxygen on different rooms. And they had patients would go in there and they would stay in there for like weeks at a time, in and out of this chamber. Really interesting. He claimed a lot of healing things that he had done, but he had no data to prove anything that he said. And the AMA shut him down. And they dismantled his chamber, his hospital. So I talked about the fact that you can do critical care inside the hyperbaric environment, and that's just a typical setup when you're going to be doing critical care. I mentioned very briefly earlier about the limb chamber. The reason that we say hyperbaric is when the whole body goes inside the hyperbaric environment. This is called a limb chamber. People would put their arms in there, put their legs in there, and they would increase oxygen around it. They would call it hyperbaric medicine. It's called topical oxygen. You don't get the diffusion of oxygen that you would intraretinal arterial occlusion, sudden blindness. We treat a lot of patients with this. Our office is right across the street from High Clinic. We get a lot of these patients that come in with sudden blindness, and we put them inside the hyperbaric chamber. We have had great success reintroducing oxygen to those areas. Basically, what we're talking about is circulation has a problem. There's no circulation supply here, there. Not giving enough oxygen here. So what we do is support this area here. You get diffusion that goes back into the retinal form. So when we do that, you get that diffusion. We talked about how hyperoxygenation can extend the diffusion of oxygen. We've been able to bring people's life back by putting inside the hyperbaric chamber. We treat.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
You came right to it though. I have glaucoma, and I was wondering how do that react with a person with glaucoma?
I have no data on glaucoma. Actually, some people say that it exacerbates glaucoma. Some people say it exacerbates glaucoma. But we're talking about a vascular problem here, basically, more than anything else. Okay? But anyway, very simple process again. What we're doing is introducing oxygen to the air where there's a deficit, causing oxygen diffusion. Once we get that diffusion there, people have gained the life back inside the hyperbaric environment. We've treated probably about, today, we probably treated about 12 or 13 patients. And out of 12 or 13, I'd probably say 10 got the vision back completely. And about another 3 got something like that at some point. So it was very successful. So one of the new things that we're working on at UAB, 2, HBO and hyperspadias graph vision. We knew nothing about this at all. So a doctor from Children's called us up and said, "Hey guys, there's these hyperbaric for these graphs for hyperspadias. Are you guys using that?" What is it? I had no idea. We've never done it. So we recently had a couple of cases that have been brought to our attention. We're getting ready to treat. I think 2 patients that we have. We're getting ready to treat 2 of those patients. So what's happening with hyperspadias is the opening of the penis is not at the tip. It's underneath somewhere. It's either in front or the back or the base of the penis itself. So that's what the opening is. So what they're doing is grafting that opening. But talking about baby, the vasculature system is not all that great at that point in the area. So the grafting that we're doing will fail it. So they put it inside the hyperbaric environment, and it has success with these patients. See the grafting component, you see where it talks about the fact that less percent area contracture from 9% versus 20%, the p-value of 0.04, and less graft failures, less than 6% versus 28%, the p-value of 0.03. So that's pretty significant. Again, we knew nothing about the process. One of the doctors contacted us, and we got a couple of patients that were going to be treated probably the next month or so. Idiopathic sudden neural hearing loss. I didn't believe it. What they're saying is there's some type of vascular problem that's probably occurring in the middle ear. And what we do, we found that we put people inside the hyperbaric chamber. Tinnitus, we've been able to hear some of that, and sudden hearing loss in the hyperbaric environment. The theory is, again, that there's a vascular problem and there's a deficit of blood flow that's going through there, and that vascular problem is causing this hearing loss to take place. I don't know the fact or basis behind it. I've read the literature. It does not explain it. It does not explain it. 56 of 76 patients had completed 25% of moderate, 31% improvement in hearing loss after HBOT. Now, we've treated probably about 6 of these patients. And one young lady we treated, I know we didn't get any healing back from her, with her hearing. But the other couple that we treated, we had some, not 100%, but we had some hearing loss. That hearing replacement that came back after treatment in the hyperbaric environment. We're going to continue to collect our data so that we can have more information to share that data